The last week of purpose. That doesn't mean because it's the last week we stop living and doing what we're supposed to do in purpose, but this is the last week that we're going to be discussing purpose. And at this time, we are going to start this way, and we're going to ask if Travail would open up and let us know how he's doing, and we're going to check in. I'm Travail, fine.
Hey, Travail.
Good morning, I'm Mike, and I am glad to be here today.
I'm Jerome. I'm trying to Joe Pope.
You what? Is this your first
Yes,
time?
it is.
All right, well done. How did you learn about Tommy Brown?
You wanted to go in?
Yes, please.
Good me.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you for inviting me. Okay.
I'm Dave.
How you doing, Dean?
I'm well. Yeah, I'm doing well.
My name's Wayne. I feel great this morning. I'm Quinn. I'm fine. Jeremy. I'm good.
Good morning, I'm Vic, I'm blessed.
Okay.
Roberto, I'm blessed. First time here.
Welcome,
Good morning. I'm Tim. Calm, cool, and collected.
Okay, we got one person outside the circle.
Hello. Please do come to the table.
I didn't want to get away.
Now, come on to the table. Just push anybody out the way. Lovingly.
Hello, I'm Milan. I'm doing one.
Good. Good to have you.
Well, I'm supposed to be, I'm doing kind of good because I'm drinking this weak coffee.
We know anything.
Stop it, Brent.
No. And we know anything he's doing on the computer has to do with Tommy Brown.
It shows.
Yes.
So let us know about it.
Go ahead, Andre.
Hi, I'm Jonathan. I am feeling glorious today.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Before I say who I am, I gotta say this. Y'all don't let this catching this cause interruption, please.
That's right.
Please. Whether it's JB, whether it's Fareed,
Whether
whether it's Roderick, I was gonna get me boo. But whomever y'all listen,
We don't think it's a problem
Yeah.
anyway.
Sound like-
We're going on. Go into the check-in and just say who you are.
I'm good, cause I'm sitting by the doctor. You don't keep me in line.
Because you're going to need her after a while.
I'm Dr. Joy Scott,
How are you doing?
and I am doing fabulous. I am.
And what's your name? And how you doing? Okay.
All right.
And I'm JB, and I'm doing fantastic. And that's a sign that let's go ahead and silence our cell phones. And we got a treat today. Jonathan, many of us know Jonathan. Wave your hand, Jonathan. You know. And he also brought Dr. Joyce, who's a nutritionist for the last 40 plus years. And we're going to let him kind of like give a brief introduction on himself and Dr. Joyce and what they're going to be doing today centered around purpose. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. As those that know, I'm Jonathan Holly. I've been with Symmetry since 2007. How I got started was in June of 2007. I was HIV positive. Went on a praying spree and asking God for answers and information. I was not taking the medication that they prescribed me because it upset my stomach, made me feel crazy and nauseous. I began to come across a company called Symmetry in 2007 June in Chicago. And that first week, I went to the meeting, I said, oh, this is bull crap, it was how I looked at it. And then it's been honest with me. It came to me again, a month later, I ended up taking it serious this time. I took a bottle home with me, and that same week, I felt better than I felt that whole entire month, that whole entire year. And that is pure honesty. I began to be a individual who began to become very adamant about the product and getting the information out. I, at the time, was working for Howard Brown Triage as a HIV STD counselor in a sense. Went there for a while, and within just 3 months, they said, well, what have you been doing? I said, I've been taking this product called Genesis. They said, well, ain't no juice can do some stuff that you're doing. It's not going to cure you. It's impossible. I began to be a firm believer, and I've been ever since. I've helped plenty of people dealing with diabetes, cancer, Crohn's disease, vitiligo. I've helped a lot of people even with visual impairments, cardiovascular issues. People only had a week to live, only had a couple months to live, complete turnaround, illnesses are completely gone. And what I'm bringing in today is to introduce this to you all, because this is part of your purpose, because your life, your health is part of your purpose. Without good health, you can't function. You can't get things accomplished like you want. You can't enjoy your family. You can't enjoy your loved ones like you really want to, because you have chronic problems that is conflicting with that. And so that's pretty much what I'm here to do. I must say that Symmetry products are like no other. It's not a sales thing with me. It's more of people being literally cured. I know you can't say that word, but you can say it if you can't say it. You know, if it's curing, it's curing. Simple as that. And like I said, I've been with Symmetry since 2007. Just moved here to Georgia from California about 4 months ago. I was in California, did great work there with AHF, which is the AIDS Health Foundation. And I also orchestrated with some other organizations there. Did some great movement, but they weren't taking me seriously because there was not a doctor talking about it. So they said, okay, what is the problem? I began to pray about it, talked to Dr. Joy Scott, and I got introduced in Arkansas. I think that was like 2010. It was 2010, right?
212.
2012? Okay. Well, 2012, she came to Arkansas, where I was down there in Arkansas in Little Rock. I was doing a lot of amazing things down there, getting people attention from lupus to cancer to you name it. People saying miracles. But the problem was people was not telling anybody else about it. It became that personal secret, which I think that's a problem, you know, in today's society. If something's good for you, at least share it with your friends. Share with your loved ones. Don't keep it as a secret, you know. So Dr. Joyce came in and I went to a meeting, I met her, I said, Dr. Joyce, we gotta connect. I said, you know, I've been praying, we gotta connect. I like our spirit vibe. So she was like, well, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I said, well, I've never been there, I'm not coming there. Simple as that. And so time went on and we got to collaborating, and I just eventually prayed and asked God, 'cause I'm very spiritual. I prayed and asked God for me to go to Georgia. I ended up going to California at the time because of the lever that I had at the time. Went to California, got derailed, and then I came back here. So I was still being focused on what I was called to do, which is help others. Okay, I have a associate's in interior design. I went to school for interior design. From there, I went to health and wellness. I also dealt with the acting and modeling industry for 6 years. Dealt with non-union members for a while. Dealt with block club unions. Dealt with youth club rowdies. Anything else about impacting our community, I was always involved. I am considered the voice for the voiceless, because I'm the individual that will stand up against whoever it is and fight. And that's just what I do. To this day, like I said, I've been in Georgia for 4 months now, almost 5. We have done great work since I've been here. We have helped plenty of people since I've been here, and inspired a lot of people, build people's faith. We have helped a lot of people in a lot of different areas. Recently, we had a gentleman who had colon cancer and brain tumors who only had a week to live. When we met him, he only had a week to live, stuck to his chair. He was supposed to be here today, but he didn't make it, unfortunately. And within just 3 months on our products, no more tumors, no more colon cancer. A lot of people say, how is that possible? If this is that good, why the doctors don't tell us about it? Well, the doctors is not going to tell you about anything because you're going to start messing with their finances. It's a money issue. It's a money battle. This is what it is. You know, a lot of these medications that, hey, Mother Betty. A lot of these medications that you are probably on, it's maybe helping, but then it's maybe not helping. You know, yes, sir.
No, I know you're in the flow there, but I just want to say too that along with it being a money issue, I've worked with doctors for over 30 years, and a lot of them just don't know.
Yeah,
Because
that's
when they
true.
go to medical school, they're not taught in
Nutrition.
detail.
Mhm.
Exactly. So if you're looking for something like this, then in searching for a doctor, a lot of times I think our dynamics is we're giving doctors that we don't have too much of a choice with. But what we have to strive to do and prayerfully do is find a doctor that's willing to kind of balance out the two. Because we need both. We need the medicine as well as we need the natural, especially the natural. So I just wanted to put that input in there.
Okay.
But a lot of them don't
Thank you.
know.
Yeah, a lot of them don't know, too. I don't know what you're saying. A lot of them don't know because they go to school to practice medicine, pharmaceutical, okay? Not holistic, not all natural, which, you know, I guarantee, probably not too many people know what blood type is, do you? Are y'all familiar with blood type? Yeah. Okay. And how important it is to prevent chronic illness and what causes chronic illnesses, you know, according to it?
The question is, does anybody don't know? Seriously, does anybody don't know?
I don't know.
I'm glad you're here. If you don't know today, well, not necessarily today, but the first chance you get, find out what your blood type is. You should know. Should always know.
We'll find out today.
You can if you want.
I mean, as far as your physician.
It's important.
Yeah, we can type your blood type today, and we have booklets. There's little books that tell you all about it. Cookbooks out there in the market as well. There's an app you can get on your phone, like right now, everybody will know. You just go to the Play Store and ask for foods for your blood type, and it's a free download. So you know exactly. I run an old blood type house. I live with a 96-year-old old lady, which is my mom, and we're, you know, just, I'll say this one thing. You know, if she was here today and she had to introduce herself, she says she feel fine. Every day is fine. No meds, no aches, no pains.
Is she feisty?
She's a feisty girl. She would be happy in this group. She loves men.
Well, she's not lying there. She's not lying there.
But she might not like this group.
Yeah, I was waiting on you.
I don't know. She might have something for you too, Roger.
I'm a part of the group, bro.
Big part.
She might have a bag of tricks.
All right. Okay.
Jeremy. She might have a bag of tricks.
So yeah, a lot of doctors just not aware, you know, because they don't. That's not what they go to school for. You know, that's not what they go to school for. You know, there's something they just don't go to school for, to learn. And there is a difference between dietitians and nutritionists. There's a big difference between the two. They're similar, but totally different. Totally different. Totally different. Nutrition itself is mainly using God's creation, the natural herbs, the minerals, the enzymes, the phytonutrients, the list goes on, that your body needs. Your body can't sustain or heal itself without the proper nutrients. You know, with them, it could heal itself. You know, you cut yourself, it heals itself. If you put ointment on it, or if you don't put ointment on it, it's going to heal. What caused that mechanism to take place? Something takes place with that. You know, so why not chronic problems like diabetes, HIV, Crohn's disease, cancer? Why that can't be answers to what makes you think you can't use a natural, holistic avenue to reverse or prevent that? Do you think it's possible?
Of course, yes.
You say it's expensive?
Expensive.
Why do you say it's expensive?
Because I've done this before, maybe not to this level, but buy those natural herbs and things that I think have kept me alive all these years when I wasn't on synthetic medicines. It was very expensive. I just it was for me.
What medicines were very expensive?
Is
The
it
natural herbs or the
natural herbs that I was purchasing as well, the synthetic medicines are super high. They're a lot higher, but the medicated have to pay for it. But when you're doing the natural herbs, you have to pay for it yourself. At least I had to pay for it. I didn't have any financial system.
Well,
It worked though.
if I could interject, so, you know, I remember, I'm gonna be 62 years old this year, and I've been, yes, I've been in wellness for 42 years, and so it was probably 20 years ago that I asked one question to an old German herbalist: how do you reverse HIV? And this is a lady that would not spend a lot of time on the phone, okay? So she ran it down to me real quick. She said, you gotta kill the virus, okay? And so, there's a special virus. You know, I like to take my shirt off when that happens, because when we were given the smallpox inoculation, you know, that virus is resting there, and if your immune system get weak, it could get wild. So what happened then is that, you know, you have to kill that virus. You've got to kill that virus. So, and that's not a difficult job. It's just knowing what is that, where's that kit, where's those supplements or herbs. And so she said, grab that kit, take the X40 kit that kills the viruses, then you've got to kill the parasites, and if you're black or white, she said, it's a different parasite. Okay, good. I'm writing as fast as I could. I know she's going to jump off the phone in a minute. And so then she said, you got to kill the parasites, and then you have to pull the chemicals and the metals, the chemical poison that we picked up along the way from the body, I mean from our environment, and the metals. You know, aluminum foil, aluminum pots, aluminum in the toothpaste, okay? And so, so what happens is, you want me to come join you, is that what you said?
Yeah.
So what happens is, okay, so what happened is, you know, you know, certain things pull chemicals out of your body, certain things pull metals out of your body, right? So we pull the chemicals, pull the metals, heavy metals, and then kill the parasites, kill the virus. And then a lot of times you are tired. Have you ever been just exhausted? And so then there's this Epstein-Barr situation going on, and you are just putting in a lot of nutrients to work with that. And so then you learn, why don't you guarantee, kill the virus again, you know, just go through it. So what happened with that? People were coming up, non-detective, they've been hanging out of work, and you better go back to work. You are, there's nothing going on. You see what I'm saying? So that's when I knew. And then, okay, what are the causes of this now? Why are we getting it? We're getting it because of chemicals, over-the-counter drugs, pharmaceutical drugs, parasites, and malnutrition. Because then you realize, okay, if I'm strong, hey, it doesn't matter. If your immune system is strong, so, and then if the body is clean. I'd like to add this one little thing, because we've got this wonderful piece of information to pass out to you, is that, yeah, you could have a strong immune system, you've done all your cleaning, but how do you totally clean your body? You know, that's a good one. Yeah, you could kill the parasites, but to totally cleanse your body, you need...
No, I thought cleansing your body is going to the bathroom once a day.
No.
Yeah,
Hooping plays a big part, but once a day is not it.
yeah,
I'm just kidding.
yeah.
No, however many times you eat a day is how many times you poop.
I didn't mean to throw you off.
Yeah,
I just had to say that, because most people think having that one bowel movement is cleaning that body.
Not
Very
okay,
major.
so, you know,
Upper and lower intestine.
so here we go. Yes, you should have a bowel movement for each meal. And if you're not, the toxins, the first disease of all diseases, it starts to create in your body. Because if you're not sending the waste out, where's the waste going? They call, the first disease of all diseases called leaky gut. The waste is leaking back into the body instead of you excreting it out. Okay? Now, that disease look like a liver issue, but it doesn't really show itself there. It looks like a kidney, then it looks like a lung. It looks like allergies. People are having problems with this pollen out here. That's how you know they are toxic. You know, just a little sign. You know, you snore at night, you know. You've got these little problems going on. They're little now, and then they start creeping. It looks like sinus. Now it's getting out into the body. And it's all kinds of diseases. All diseases started from not pooping regular, having that one bowel movement a day. So if you're eating 3 meals, you better be trying to figure out, how am I going to have 3 eliminations? That's what you should try to sort out. That's the first thing.
So that's saying is this year.
And so, and so that's where it all starts. Okay? How do you make that happen? You know, is everybody in here on schedule for that?
For pooping?
And I want to go back to that one exercise, because that exercise that I want to introduce to you, it helps you clean the blood. See, the veins. The veins has all the toxic waste that's picked up from every cell in your body. But it doesn't really get dumped properly. How do we get it out? You see, you walk around like this every day. It's not getting dumped. You see what I'm saying? That's no movement.
No, I was just gonna say, I think for me, you know, my diet and my liquid intake helped me
Eliminate.
eliminate
How many times a day?
at least 4.
At least 4 times. I like to say, if you're eating 3 meals, like have 3 bowel movements and 1 for good measures, right? Let's make sure it's all done
You
time.
want for good
Okay?
measure.
Now, so let's say, you know, and you got to get enough fiber. Here's one way not to make sure you're pooping properly. Don't eat late at night.
Oh, no.
Don't eat meat after 2 o'clock. Meat takes so long to break down.
You about to get cussed out, Dr. Joyce. You about to get cussed out, Dr. Joyce.
No meat after 2 o'clock p.m., y'all.
You about to get cussed out now.
Okay, we're not gonna talk about that. You better start counting those food stuff. Okay, so look, I'm gonna start over here at the end. Bounce. You gotta walk a lot, or you need to get on a rebounder or something like that and bounce. And that, yesterday I told a guy that they are supposed to be some of the top originators of the top bouncing rebounder trampolines now. And so I told the guy, I said, my mom has been bouncing for 35 years. Yeah. And his next statement, when I said that, you know what, he jumped back. He said, and she's never sick.
She's not.
I thought, wow, interesting. That was his comment. Because, see, if you're clean, it's like disease has nothing to feast off of, to thrive off of, if you're clean inside. So you got to poop. So how do you feel today? You came in a little late.
Yeah, I was at another part. I felt fantastic.
Okay.
I
There
slept
it
well, you know. I've actually urinated probably 10 times already today.
How many poop?
Because I drink.
Okay. Well, let me explain a little something here now. So if you're not a great pooper, the best thing to do is to get up in the morning. You know how you've pooped in a toilet and you say, oh my goodness, I don't want anybody to see this poop in here. So what are you going to do? You could flush it. You could cause it to flush, right? You could go get you a big bucket of water and pour it down either in front or back, and it'll flush. So in the mornings, why has you've urinated 10 times? That's not necessarily normal, but it may be okay to do that in the mornings because he put in more liquid than he really should have to make sure that he caused the flush. Because you should.
But I actually stopped eating, and I was hungry, so I drank water and I drank juice. So because I stopped, I think my last meal yesterday was maybe about 6:30, and so at 10, because I'm trying to make this stomach. So at 10 when I was hungry, and at 11 when I was hungry, and at 12 when I was hungry, I just drank water or I drank juice.
Right. Okay. And what kind of juice?
Cranberry.
Okay. And you drank the one with the sweetened with the beet sugar. Which one you drank? It didn't matter.
Well, I'm not sure.
So if you're trying to get rid of bellies, you're looking at sugar, you're looking at the cost. So you're not, you know, so I like to say the number one best juice to buy is that Concord grape. That's the one. The German people, yes.
No, I just want to say, Dr. Joy, we went right over a lot of our heads. She said, when he said cranberry juice, she said that beet sugar, because basically beets can color water. And they put sugar in there, so it looks like cranberry juice, but it's really just water, sugar, and coloration. Even though they say cranberry, it's not really cranberry.
Right.
And that's a good point. Now, that's why they went over everybody's head.
Very true.
But when
But
they say no sugar added, are they lying when they put it on there? Cranberry juice,
no sugar added to the pound that they put in there already.
Right.
I'm saying sugar, you know, they lying about when they put no sugar added.
Well,
It's a marketing tool.
I know what I'm saying, but they
let me say this
They're
though.
lying
Let
in
me say
general.
this. If you bought
It's
Concord grape
politics.
juice,
Yeah.
they didn't add sugar.
No, it's sweet.
I know what I'm
It's the
saying.
sugar that was
It's
naturally
politics.
there.
Yeah.
But,
Politics.
so let me just say this. There are books written called The Grape Cure. The cure for, they call it the cure for cancer. They are using grapes, Concord grapes, raisins, and grape juice. So I picked my mother up when she was 84. I went to San Diego, California, and brought her back to Georgia. Who would do something that crazy? You know, when you're at the beginning of your life, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember how old I was, but she was 84. I'm her youngest child. I'm 62 now, and she's 96 this year. So the point of the story is, I thought, I've got 7 other sisters and brothers. They're much older. They're not doing stuff that I'm doing, but I'm going to bring the problem to my house. Well, I'm not going to let it be a problem. I'm going to feed her nutritious foods, and I'm going to keep her healthy. I decided she must do 2 things every day. She must poop every day, and she cannot snore. So when you have mucus and snot in the body, you know you are losing the battle. You've got waste, and cancer starts from the mucus. Well, wait a minute. The mucus came from the mucus-forming foods that was very acidic. That fed them. So if we could get the mucus out, so she doesn't snore, that she sleeps quiet as a mouse, and she's pooping every day. And she gives me 0 problems here at her age, you see. And so it was interesting this morning, she wanted to go walk. Damn it, lady. I didn't get up early enough. We should have been out there at 7 o'clock at the mountain. You know, she's done that. And so I just went to the grocery store. I said, come on, let's walk around here right quick, because I needed to grab something. And so, but she's a healthy girl. So let's get back to this pooping. So if you get up in the morning and take, let's say, a 16-ounce mason jar of water, and put the juice out of 1 lemon. You could put 32 ounces of water and put the juice out of 1 lemon. You could put that lemon, just peel the outside of it, and if it was organic, you could leave some of the skin on and put it in the blender with the water and blend it all up and drink that down. You know what's going to happen? It's going to flush that colon. All that stuff hanging on the walls getting ready to fall off, and you're getting ready to go head out. And so, yes, sir.
I don't mean for you to stop every time I raise.
Yeah, so he's giving an amen on it. So,
Yeah, but no, what I wanted to say is,
Yes.
because I want them to understand something. When it comes to what she's saying is drinking that
lemon water.
16 ounce or
16 or
32 ounce.
32 ounces.
This is the thing, people say, well, I drink plenty of water during the day, or I drink so many glasses a day. This is the thing, you have to drink. I used to tell people at least half your body's weight in ounces of water. And they say, well, why? And this is what was revealed to me,
Yes.
is this. All of us have a toilet or used a toilet before. There's one right back here. In the back of that thing usually is a bowl with water. In the bowl you sit on, got water.
Yes.
If it didn't have water, where would it go? Where would the stuff go that you put in it? Where would it go? Huh? If it didn't have any water.
It would start sticking.
Yeah, it wouldn't go anywhere.
Wouldn't go anywhere.
But they know to a science how much water it takes in the back of the tank and the bowl to make that flush.
Yes.
Same thing in the body. If we're not putting the right amount of water in our body, it's not going to flush. Whatever we put in there, it's not going to flush. That's the reason why a baby doesn't need as much water as we do. Somebody like my size, and that brother there, he might need a
Little bit more
pint
water.
more
I drink
because
an
he's
hour.
larger. You know, somebody, let's say, like I'm 160. Say somebody's 300 pounds, they need twice the amount of water that I need to flush. If they drink what I drink, they're gonna just do one bowel movement, and there's gonna be two more stuck in there somewhere.
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
It makes
So
all sense.
that's what she's saying.
Right.
Drinking that ounce in the morning and then through the
And
day.
then eating foods with water in them, you see? So a lot of us eat dead food, dry food, and it's requiring more water, you see?
Have you ever eaten live chicken?
I haven't.
Just curious.
But you know what? I'll take that back. I've eaten a raw egg before, have you?
No.
Okay, so, who have? You've eaten a raw egg. We got some real, I'm gonna say, we got some real men in the house. You gotta
Trying to say boo.
But what was his, I'm curious, Roderick, what was your reason for asking a live chicken?
Because if it ain't dead, he can't eat it.
No, I'm
That's what it was. He was
Was it because you were talking about live
If his
food?
chicken ain't dead, he
Is that what it
can't
was?
Yeah, so.
Okay, that's what it was.
People do eat raw meat. People do eat raw meat now.
Okay.
To be honest with
Yeah, the
you,
raw diet.
I'll throw this in.
I mean,
right
actually, there's some great raw restaurants here in Atlanta.
Oh, definitely.
But that's vegetable. That's vegetable though,
Yeah, that's
right?
vegetable,
Yeah.
yeah. But still, I mean, they're even the sweet potato pies, the sweet potato pies are good.
I'm very good at that, okay, raw sweet potato pies, oh yes, it'll look the same.
It should.
Okay, so let's go back now. So during the day, and we're talking about sizes, supposedly you should have 4 ounces of water on the hour. That's how you can keep from going back and back and back to that toilet. You see, you've been 10 times. Because we're gonna have to fire you because you stay in the bathroom all the time. You know what I'm saying? But in fact, the larger you are, we went from 4 ounces, maybe up to 5 ounces, and we could have gone to 6 ounces.
But I am drinking a lot. It's not, I'm drinking a lot.
Yeah, but
But I
look,
love it.
and you can flush out your minerals that way. You can almost become dehydrated in a sense. But especially if you run it out the rear end and you're peeing it out all at the same time. But how do you know, you just need to be consistent. Because the kidneys is not gonna let you hold all this ton of water. So it's gotta bring it down to the proper level. And so that's why you go a lot, and then it chill out, and then you drink all this water, and you go a lot, and it's gotta bring it down to the normal
I
level.
heard that you're only supposed to drink 8 cups of water a day, unless you're working outside and you're working extreme.
Exactly.
Yeah, 8
So
cups a
you
day.
wouldn't drink 16 ounces of water, but only in the mornings when you're trying to do the flush out. And so that's what we're looking, because we've got people that don't start their day with a poop. If you didn't start your day with a poop now, you're not a good pooper. So you just think right now, you should have pooped by within 30 minutes of getting out of the bed. Yes,
I
sir.
can drink water and get mine and move every morning.
Exactly.
I get it, just doing water, I get mine and move every
Yes, sir.
morning.
Yes, sir.
And that's why I get up when I do, because,
Start with water.
Okay, so we got that. We got that.
Got that.
And you should get it done so much.
Yeah.
You should, so well, I should say, till your poop don't have an odor. You see? When you get to that point, yes, we could, because look at the shape of your colon. Once you get it, all the poop out of I call it the bay windows. But you gotta pull it all out, and you get, you don't want just straight smooth poops, because you're just pooping down the middle of the colon. You just wanna clean it all out. And so it takes eating and spacing your meals out. You don't just eat constantly all day. You need to eat a meal, wait the 3-4 hours, eat a meal, wait the 3-4 hours, and eat a meal. And the more you chew your food, the more alkaline the food becomes, the more digestible it becomes, the more you can get the nutrients out of it, and the easier it's going to be on the elimination. Yes.
I really like that, Dr. Joyce, because our bodies are like a clock. on a cycle.
Yes.
In other words, we can train the body to a point where almost automatically, as long as we're doing what we're supposed to do, like clockwork, we have that bowel movement around the same time in the
Yes.
morning or whatever. But what I like for myself, what works for me is when I get up first thing in the morning, I mean, I keep water at the house, like that jug back there where Larry is, and in
Yes.
bottles or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But I would drink a whole 16 to 20 ounce when I get up in the morning.
Yes.
And then about every 2 hours, just for me, I'll drink like a 16 ounce, or I strive to do that. I'll drink water about every 2 hours.
In between meals.
Right. And then by 6 o'clock or so, I'm pretty much done as
With
far
the water.
as, yeah, with
So
water.
Now you don't have to get up during the night.
Exactly. You know, so until like maybe 5:30 or something in the morning. But again, that works for me.
Yes. Okay. Yes, sir.
Milan first, he had his hand up.
Okay.
So I was always told that snacking in the midst of the day was what you should do. So
Should do.
So is that incorrect? Because like you said, meal, which
Right.
that's what I'm used to. They said, snacking is bad, they say snacking is good.
So meat takes 4 hours. Have you ever washed a load of clothes?
Yeah.
Load of clothes, it starts, it pulls the water in, it goes through its agitation stage, it rinses it, spins, and it's finished. Okay. Now, have you ever found another piece of clothing and you put it in on the rinse cycle?
No, okay.
It's gonna get clean, it stops it, and it goes back to start. Oh, by the time it got to the rinse cycle again on the spin, you found another piece, you dropped it, and it stops and goes back to start. They say it's not uncommon for people to have breakfast in their stomach at 10 at night because they did that all day long.
Wow.
So you've got to give it a chance. Meat takes 4 hours. So you first, we've got this little sheet. We gave you this sheet right here. And it's something on there called combinations of food. So if you put the meat in only with vegetables, here.
It's on this form here.
Oh, he's got it.
It should be
Right here.
with the 50 reasons.
Okay, so, okay, I'm gonna do that one, okay?
50
So
reasons.
what happens is, you put meat with vegetables, it's gonna digest properly, it's gonna assimilate, it's gonna move out of the stomach. It's gonna be, so now we can put more food in. But until that food is out of the stomach, we should not put another meal in there. Now, if you ate a carbohydrate with vegetables, then 3 hours. But if you ate fruit, 30 minutes. If we ate watermelon, 10 minutes. What are you eating? You don't want to put a fresh load of dirty clothes in until the washer is finished. You got me? Yes, sir.
So like, we talk about this cleansing, this like, if someone cleanses their body, it's also helping like lose weight? Because I know a lot of weight is held in the stomach and
Well, the weight here, so if the weight start, a lot of people, the weight start right here. They start right off the chest. That's salt and carbonation. Okay? Regular salt, sodas, all that kind of thing, you know? And so then the middle, you got this middle stomach here. And a lot of times we just got this big belly sticking out. That's carbonation. I mean, not carbonation, but that is the sugar and the carbohydrates. I see one over here, you know?
I'm the one on the diet right now.
Oh, good, good. So the diet that he should be on is called, we're gonna give it a name. We're gonna say it's a paleo diet. That's the paleo diet. We left the beans out, we took the wheat out, we took the cornmeal out, and he doesn't eat breads at all. He only eats fruits, vegetables, and some protein.
I got a
And
love affair with
then
bread
his
now.
belly will go,
I got a love affair with bread.
Well, Oprah loves bread, so.
okay. Oprah wants to have the front looks like the back. So if you want, and plus it's also money. See, the average person, do you like bread? You eat bread?
I have a love affair with bread.
Okay.
I got a love affair with
Okay,
bread.
whoa.
How many about a show of hands like bread?
I got a love affair with
About a show of
bread.
hands like bread.
So if everybody likes bread,
Love affair.
then why would you want to upset the world? Now, unless you're Dr. Joy. Now, I'm like, you know why I don't like bread? because I got the 96-year-old at my house.
Oh.
I don't have time to be a caretaker. If she ate bread, she's guaranteed she's gonna have dementia, she's gonna have Alzheimer's, she's gonna snore. It's gonna look ugly. Her stool is gonna smell because it's gonna make everything stink and clog up in here. I'm not doing that. It's not necessary. You think, a piece of bread. Look at it, it's white, it's soft, it's got glue in it. It could only create a problem. Why don't you eat bread?
My friend that I just moved down here with, no pasta, no bread,
what about
no
bread?
rice. Well, I don't know off the boat,
Oh,
you know.
no.
But I lost, how much did I lose, Milan? Like 45 pounds? Yeah, I lost 45 pounds in 11 months. But
Okay,
I can cut out all the pasta, all the rice, the bread, all of that.
okay. Well, that's only because that's all the weight you have to lose. I talked to a girl a couple of weeks ago. She had lost 110 pounds in 1 year. You said 11 months, and so 12 months she lost 110 pounds. He lost, or he didn't have much to lose. So, okay. So the bread congests the system. Bread does.
See, his theory is anything that you can eat that will swell up isn't good for you. Your breads, your pastas, your rice, that kind of stuff will swell up.
Well, you can't say that totally because flaxseed swell up, but it is awesome. You know? But the breads, let's give up the wheat, let's give up the corn. You know, we're in the South, so, you know, at my house, I know you know, we grew up on a sharecrop cotton farm, okay? So we had the bread. So you know what I do for the bread now? I will put flaxseed and millet, and the better way though is to put the flaxseed in some coconut flour or coconut, you know, or almond flour to make the cornbread. And if I had to make it look and feel a little bit more like cornbread, I cut the corn off the cob and mix it in. But usually, because we're old blood types, I use millet flour sometimes to
Okay,
make
but
it.
let's go back to what he said earlier about, you know, you can buy regular flour cheap. What's this coconut flour or this other flour you're talking about? What's the price?
More protein and the priciness of it. Less visits to the doctor. Less mornings, so when you wake up, you feel fabulous. You see, look, you gotta understand, I've spent 12 years with an old lady. You know, she could have died at 84. We would have been fine. She lived a long life. Here she is, 96 years old, and she wakes up every morning feeling fabulous. Do you know how many times we go to the doctor? Do you know how much money we spend at the drugstore and at the doctor's office? Can you guess?
Zero.
Yeah.
Correct.
You know, I got a call from the, who sent me the letter? The IRS sent me the letter, or State Farm sent me the letter. Because she gets some money from State Farm, and IRS don't tax her. They said, look, you gotta go to the doctor, because we gotta know this lady is sick. You see what I'm saying? And when I look, it's been almost 30 months. Oh yeah, you better get in there. You know what I'm saying? You got me now. We're not spending time sitting up. The average person goes to the doctor at least, you know, for her age. I mean, especially when they're in the 80s. We've passed the age of going once a week. We've passed the age of going every 90 days, yes.
Dr. Joy, you know, if I can suggest this, you know, that's the biggest thing people have. We have habits of going to the store, buying whatever at a dollar price or 10 for $1 or whatever, but it may not be good necessarily for our health, but it's in our budget. I would suggest at least this, and that is, if you're buying flour 4 times a year, why not buy the regular flour? Why not buy it 2 times a year and buy something more healthier the other 2 times? In other words, there are little things we can do to do better. And at least you're like halfway there opposed to not being there at all. Because that's what some people do. They tend to, they don't do anything at all opposed to doing a little something.
A little change.
Yes.
Just a little change. Yes, sir.
I mean, the problem is, how can you buy something different if you don't know to buy something
Okay,
different?
so now that's
So
why we're
talking
giving
about
you,
buying some regular flour, how you don't know what is healthy and what is not?
okay, so let me run it down to you real
Yeah.
quick, okay? And we can, since you're meeting here, you know, regularly, we can provide it now. You gotta know, people have life passions, and health and wellness is my life passion, okay? But if you gotta have a flour, it's almond flour, it's coconut flour. You just switch. What are you doing with flour in the first place?
I never heard of almond flour.
Yeah, okay, what you do with flour?
Cook with it.
Biscuits and
Make bread.
You make biscuits with
fried
it?
food.
You fry with it, so you just need a little, you just put a little bit, and you batter your stuff, and you're cooking it in what kind of oil? No, okay. So we got the flours down, almond and coconut flour. We're gonna fry it in coconut oil, we could fry it in grapeseed oil, and we can fry it in clarified butter. You know, if you want some super, you know, you wanna turn somebody on with your food, you go get you a pound of unsalted butter, and you put it in the skillet, and we get ready to take all that saturated fat out of it, and make it good. Make it a vegetarian, you know, because the cows ate the grass, you know. So you got hot, don't put it on hot, you're gonna burn it. Medium, don't put it on medium, you're gonna burn it. So you put it between low, and medium, so right in here. And it starts bubbling up, all this white stuff that clogs up all your arteries is coming to the top, and then it may start to turn a little brown, you better cut it off then. But you could have just scooped it all off. Now you can fry in butter. Clarified butter, they call it, or they call it ghee. So you're doing coconut oil, you're doing clarified butter, you're doing grapeseed oil, but when you use vegetable oil, it's the #1 cause of cancer. When you use canola oil, it's a poison. When you use olive oil, when you put the heat on the olive oil, okay, it changes it into a cancer-causing agent, into a carcinogen. So you're not cooking with olive oil, but you can put the olive oil on your wonderful food. You can just pour some olive oil on your vegetables, on your salad. But what kind of olive oil?
Extra virgin.
Extra virgin. And then the word FIRST, first cold press. That's the kind you want. And just use it. Put it on your hair. First cold press. Yeah, so you wanted to say, yes, sir, extra virgin.
May I explain to them what that means?
Yes.
Okay, because I know you know.
Yes.
But first cold press basically means
Yes.
when the, like this is spring, when the olive trees first come forth, it's the first oil or the first olives that comes forth in the first cold press, because heat kills
Yep.
oxygen, it forces the nutrients out. So the very first gleaning. Now those same trees will produce more olives as the year goes on. They won't be as potent. Put it this way, if you're sexually potent, your first go around, I mean, it's just everywhere. But then if you go a second or third time, it won't be as potent.
Speak for yourself.
Okay. No, it takes time. It takes at least 30 minutes to an hour to build up. So if you're doing that more than within the hour, then it's not going to be as potent. But that's, but you understand, that's the difference with the olive
Yeah, the
oil.
first time you get 2 tablespoons in it, okay, now, but look here now. Then, it's not even pure olive oil as you go down as well. They're putting some cheaper oils. It has the scent and odor of the olive, but it's not even 100% olive. When they say sometimes you can stir fry with it, you know? Okay, so you want to get the real deal. That's what you want. And you, remember, you don't have to use a lot. You don't need a lot of flour, you know. But you got to know, every time you use that flour, you have mucus in your respiratory system. Is that right? You notice it. You're coughing up. Yeah, yeah. It's your food. Don't mistake it now. If you're not well, it was your diet. So look, let's get this straight. Whenever you're eating meat, you're never putting a starch with that meal. It will not digest. It's going to congest. If you're going to have some starch, you're never going to put starch in meats. Those are the mixed match. So you have to have meat with vegetables only.
Okay.
And if you're gonna
No
eat
chicken
starch
sandwiches.
of any kind, you eat it with vegetables only. That's how you do it.
So you
So
can't
now,
substitute, you can't substitute rice,
now,
bread.
now, let me just tell you, there are a couple of foods that get along with everybody. Okay, that's rice and that's apples. They say sometimes strawberries is that food too. But rice, you can eat it with a protein, okay? And apples, you could eat it with a protein. So, you know, imagine now, you could make a raw apple pie and there was nothing cooked. I'd love to bring a sweet potato. Do you make the raw sweet potato pie? Have you made it?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, I have
well,
that.
look, I'd love to make one for the group one day.
And
You shouldn't have told him, you should have just came in here and said, here's a sweet potato pie.
Because some of us would have known.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
Coffee, some of us feel fat like Travail and Tim.
But, excuse me, before you go to, I have a question to you now, because, about people with HIV, like for me.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I have 4 eating habits. I eat late at night, I eat all day long. I eat ice cream, I eat cookies, you can tell you, cakes, pies. No, I'm being honest. And I eat lots of meat, and I don't eat a lot of vegetables. I'm a meat eater.
Okay, so let me just,
I'm a meat, but the reason why, because at one point I was very small and I was very sickly. So I'm not trying to lose weight, get small again.
Right.
Maybe it's a mental thing.
Yeah.
I refuse.
being big isn't healthy.
Let me say this. I refuse to be small like I first was. I will never be small again. That's just me. That's where I'm at right now. And I eat all the time. I eat all the time. I do eat vegetables, but I am a meat eater and I'm a sweet eater.
okay, so let me just kind of put that, let you see where that's coming from. It's a pH thing. It's a pH thing. So if you want to be well, you want to eat more alkaline forming foods. If you want to risk your life and be riding the line and have sometimes you're working with little symptoms. You got a little sinus symptom, a little allergy symptom. Do you ever have any little symptoms?
Such as what?
Anything. Allergies, snoring, sinus. Have you lost any hair?
I'm bald.
Yeah, you've got a little bald head. Your intimacy act, your whole performance may be not what it used to be. Yeah, can I get a...
No, for real.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It is.
So, but if you want it to be tip-top, then you want to watch this acid alkaline. Watch this. This is what you want to use. You want to use this rule. Always eat, at least stay neutral. Don't eat all acid foods. All acid foods, which is your meats, your breads, your sweets, your caffeine, that's what's going to eventually catch up. You see, the diabetes, the hypertension, the baldness. See, I would almost love to look at your toenails and see, are they thickening up a little bit? They are thickening up a little bit. That lets you know the circulation. And one area where the circulation gets poor is right here, just where we don't want it to be poor. Just when you want to have it like, bam, it ain't there. Because you clogged up your oils putting the meat, bread, starches together. So we want to make sure we eat a little bit of these vegetables over here and a few fruits. Tie that in with your meat. You got me? And so supplements, you gotta have some supplements. As a matter of fact, what they're saying nowadays is that you need double the supplements they say we need. You need double. So if they say you gotta have one of these a day, you're better off if you had 2.
Wow.
Do what you wanna do. You gotta have, there are some nutrients that are not in the food. You see what I'm saying? I won't say it's not in the food, but it's hard to get enough of them, like calcium. Anybody don't sleep well, got a little back issue, got a little structural problem. You see, you probably need some calcium, but you're not going to get enough in your food. Yes, sir.
You know what, I take one of those every day. Yes.
Okay.
Every day.
Okay, and you should have said, and you probably do it, you take it every night,
But
because
you
you
know
take
what?
calcium at night.
But you know what, my bones
bones used to hurt a long time ago. But when I started taking
Okay.
calcium, then I don't have no pain.
Hey, listen to that. That's awesome. Now look, and let's go a little bit. How many milligrams? Do you know how many milligrams you're taking? But you just know you take it and you don't hurt no more.
I'm not hurt.
The bones, the nerves, and the muscles, that's what that calcium helps, you know? Like if you look at young girls that have cramps on their cycle, they need calcium. The nails break, need calcium. The hair breaking, oh my goodness, we must need a whole lot of calcium. Now, you see what I'm saying? So we need the calcium. Calcium keep you calm instead of you getting a little, you know, rattled a lot. Okay? So we gotta have like 1,800 milligrams a day. 15, 18, 2,000. We don't get that. Yes.
What's a good supplement for like vitamins and supplements? 'Cause
Okay. Here we
I'm
go.
a diabetic and I have to use, and I guess I can use it, I guess. It just depends on the sugar intake.
Oh, no. They put you gotta have that stevia or something natural. This is what you do. You do a pack of this every day. You just fed every cell all your essential nutrients. They put a whole cup of aloe vera gel in here to rip the plaque out of your arteries. You see, you gotta get through the artery wall to get out here to feed your your little cells. But look, why are you wanting to stay a diabetic? You see, in order to stay a diabetic. Now I don't know if I said paleo. Y'all heard of the paleo diet?
Yeah.
That's eliminating all the sugar, all the starch. Okay.
Yeah, that's all it's flavor.
So guess what? Are you eating starches and carbohydrates?
Yeah, I minimize what I eat every day.
Okay, so you minimized it.
Yeah, 'cause I have to eat 5 meals a day, like breakfast, lunch, snack, 2 snacks in the afternoon, 1 in the morning, 1 afternoon, and 1 at night. And then
No,
at
you
night.
don't. No,
That
you
was
don't.
that was Dr. Shea.
So let me tell you, you want to eat. Is your blood type A?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't eat bananas, do you?
Yeah, I eat bananas, I eat strawberries.
No, you can't have bananas. It's going to shoot the blood sugar up. What you got to do is educate yourself. And so I don't know if this, this is not something you make available to everyone.
Yeah, I can. That's
Sure,
what I
food
used to
there.
say, if they want a copy of what you was talking about,
Yeah.
food combination,
You know
whatever
what
it is,
types?
I can bring y'all a copy next week where it tells you how long food stays in your system, whether it's shellfish, meat, vegetables.
Right. So let me tell you this here. You know what a meat is. Chicken, fish, that's what you can eat. But you gotta eat it off your beneficial list. Your avoid list is poison. It's poison. Okay? You know what fruits are. You pick them off the tree, they're fresh. Not the frozen one, not the canned ones in the little syrup. You're not doing that.
What about mixed fruit, like in the canned boxes?
No. Those are dead.
Oh, no.
They're absolutely finished. Okay? So you're eating fresh, raw fruits you bite into, and if you can get them organic. And then there are the vegetables. So look, we have worked with diabetics. We've gotten people off insulin 48 hours. So,
Cancer, 30 days.
okay, so you're eating, every day you eat to feel the way you feel. Remember, you didn't eat it, and that's why you feel the way you feel. You didn't take your calcium, so you walking around hurt, didn't know. All you needed was a little calcium. Then he started taking it, he doesn't have it.
But I didn't know why I was hurting. I went to the nurse finding out. They the one that told me that what I needed, because I would wake up in the morning, my bones was hurting.
Right. Okay, so what you do to make sure you stay a diabetic, you eat your little bread, your little crackers, your little cookies. Sometimes they're free. Sure, they're free. Yeah, so it's free. Let me just get a few to go. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to wake up tomorrow. I still have to be a diabetic.
What about sugar-free stuff, like cookies?
No, don't get food on that one. I make sure, when I see that, I always take a left turn and I go the other way because you know I got the 96-year-old and that's what caused the dementia, the Alzheimer's.
The
aspartame. No. It still have the carbs. And so you gotta put you into the game. You haven't done that. Leave all the little carbohydrates, the boxes of the bags and those little cans. Don't buy it. Okay? Yes, sir.
forgot the first question. The second question is the list, they said it's stuff like to avoid and stuff to go for it. How about like, do you have that so you can like take that home or is it?
Yeah, if you need blood type.
Well, and I tell you what, we have another sheet. It's got alkaline foods and the acidic foods. So what should happen every meal, you put one acidic food on the plate, and then you put 2 or 3 alkaline foods on the plate. But we could provide that sheet, and then we would want to provide this for you as well. But the thing is, eat 2 or 3 vegetables, 4 or 5 vegetables every day.